All right, today we are taking charge of the single most precious resource on your iPhone. And no, I don't mean your photos. I'm talking about your battery. We're going to demystify a really powerful and honestly a pretty misunderstood feature that could be the secret to getting way more life out of your phone every single day.
You know this question. We've all asked it, probably while staring at that angry red battery icon. You gave it a full charge all night, but by lunchtime you're already hunting for a wall outlet. So what is really going on?
Well, a lot of the time, the answer is hiding in plain sight. It's a setting that just works silently in the background around the clock. So let's play detective for a minute and uncover the real culprit behind this battery drain mystery.
Turns out, there's this one feature that's designed for pure convenience, but if you just let it run wild, it can be one of the absolute biggest battery hogs. And yeah, it's always running, even when your phone is just sitting in your pocket doing nothing.
And that feature is called Background App Refresh. Now, I know it sounds a little technical, but I promise the concept is actually super simple. And getting a handle on it is the first step to becoming a true iPhone battery master. So, what did it even do? Well, you know when you open your social media feed and it's magically preloaded? Or your news app already has the latest headlines waiting? That's it. That's Background App Refresh in action. It's all about keeping your apps fresh and ready to go.
So here's the breakdown of how iOS handles this. Most of the apps you aren't using are in what's called a suspended state. They're basically just sleeping, not using any power. But Background App Refresh acts like a special little license that lets certain apps wake up for a few seconds, grab new info, and then poof, right back to sleep.
And your iPhone is actually incredibly smart about this whole thing. It learns your routines. So if you check the weather every morning at 8 a.m., your phone starts to figure that out, and it'll get the weather app ready for you just before you open it. It's not random. It's trying to be efficient based on how you use your phone.
But all this activity, no matter how smart it is, comes at a cost, and that cost is battery life. The good news, though, is that you are in complete control here. So let's see exactly how you can manage it. And that cost, it's a double whammy. It's definitely using more battery power, but also, if you're not on Wi-Fi, it's chewing through your cellular data plan. So getting a handle on this one feature can have a really huge impact on both.
Here's a quick pro tip. Ever wonder why low power mode works so well? Well, one of its main jobs is to just completely turn off Background App Refresh. That's it. It instantly saves a huge chunk of power just by doing that one thing. So where is this magical setting? It's really easy to find. Just head into your Settings app, tap on General, and you will see Background App Refresh sitting right there in the list.
Once you're in there, you get three main choices. Off is for the absolute battery-saving purist. Wi-Fi is a great middle-of-the-road option. It'll save your cellular data. And then there's Wi-Fi and cellular data, which is the default setting. That's all about maximum convenience, but it comes at the cost of battery and data.
But here is the best part. It is not an all-or-nothing situation. You can scroll down that screen and you'll see a list of every single one of your apps. This is where you get to be the boss. Keep it on for essentials, like your email or your Maps app, but switch it off for that game you only play once a month. You get precise app-by-app control.
All right, now that we know how the settings work, let's tackle a huge myth that almost everyone gets wrong when it comes to saving battery, and it's all about how we close our apps.
You know you do it. We all do it. That satisfying little swipe-up gesture to clear out all the apps from the app switcher. Everybody says this saves battery life. But does it? Well, the answer, straight from Apple's own experts, is a pretty shocking no. In fact, constantly force quitting your apps can actually make your battery life worse. I know, it feels totally backward, but there's a really clear reason for it. Here's why. An app that's just in that sleeping state is barely using any power. Waking it up is super easy for your phone, but when you force quit it, you're kicking it out completely. The next time you open it, your iPhone has to do a cold start, loading everything from scratch, and that takes way more processing power and energy.
Oh, and one last thing to clear up, because a lot of people worry about this. Turning off Background App Refresh does not stop your notifications. You will still get your texts, your news alerts, and all those other important pings instantly. That's a totally separate system, so don't worry about missing anything.
Okay, to wrap things up, let's just go over a few final pro tips to help you squeeze the most out of your iPhone's battery every single day.
First off, if you're traveling, do yourself a favor and switch to Wi-Fi only. It'll save you from those nasty data roaming bills. Second, every now and then, go into your battery settings and just see which apps are the biggest background culprits. You might be surprised.
And finally, do a quick audit. If you've got an app you barely ever use, just toggle its refresh off. It's that simple.
So there you have it. By managing this one little feature, you can take back a ton of control over your battery life and your data usage. It really makes you wonder, with our phones getting smarter every year, how will new tech like adaptive power start to automate this whole process for us down the line?